Why did you want to come out here and send
their
this
message? It is a message of a call for justice, for swift justice for George Floyd, for systemic justice for all brown and black people who have been under the knee of this country in ways that we have witnessed time and again. This is wrong. And this rising up, this spontaneous uprising of people, mostly half my age or younger, they're the ones we should be listening to.
And they're angry at the president.
They're so angry.
They're angry at the president. So what is your message to President Trump today?
Well, I've given up speaking to President Trump. We need to replace President Trump. We need leadership that will lead us in the ways that this country deserves.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are upset about the fire as well, but that is not our primary focus. Our primary focus is the reason behind, the fundamental reasons behind the protests in our country right now. There is a deep desire for the fundamental issues at stake brought to light by the murderous death of George Floyd and the countless others that we've witnessed in this long string of violence against Black and brown people, that needs to be addressed in a systemic, fundamental way in the from every police department in the country and the vigilante civilian actions that are taken. The gospel of Jesus and the teachings of the scripture are antithetical to the messages that he is communicating and the way he's responding to people in this moment. And that there is no spiritual mantle of authority for the actions that he had just moments before said that he would take.
Yes, this is a follow-up. I believe you've seen that woke bishop, a lot of informations are coming out about her that was her advocating for BLM. Now, he is going around on social media granting interviews pertaining to what just happened. Trump demand an apology. This is what Trump put out. This so-called bishop who spoke at a national prayer service on Tuesday morning was a radical left hardline Trump hater. She brought her church into the war of politics in a very egregious way. She was nasty in tone and not compelling or smart. She failed to mention the large number of illegal migrants that came into our country and take away lives. Many were deposited from jails and mental institutes. It is a giant crime wave that is taking place in the U.S. Apart from her inappropriate statement, the service was a very boring and uninspiring one. She is not very good at her job. She and her church owe the public an apology.
Can you feel the excitement in the air? I mean, I was actually walking around in the bitter cold, partially because I couldn't get an Uber, but people are smiling, right? They're in a good mood. It's quite refreshing. And I think they're doing that because they know it's a new day in America. Monday was a celebration for most Americans. However, not everyone is happy about the direction that our country is headed, which is actually disappointing. For example, yesterday at the National Prayer Service, the bishop was extreme in her views, extremely out of line and out of touch. And what she did was uncalled for. Perhaps we should pray for
doctrinal differences here playing out in church. What do you think, Scott?
These woke-scapalians or Episcopokians or whatever they're calling themselves today, this is ridiculous. This was terrible. Donald Trump, I'm sure, regrets participating in this event today to be lectured to and politicized in a church this way. And I thought it was, frankly, a disgrace to what they did at this event. I don't know if this event will happen ever again because of this. This particular bishop took it upon herself to turn this into a complete and total circus and spectacle. And I don't know any Republican today who's like, oh, wow.
Well, it was a very
really
long
good
service. Tonight, a bishop takes on Trump and pleads with him face-to-face to, quote, have mercy. The Episcopal Bishop of Washington pleading with President Trump to show compassion towards undocumented immigrants. And your tone there, so serious and genuine. You see him, he's stone-faced, he then looks down, but he's listening to every word you say. As you made that personal plea to him, what were you looking at him in that moment? What kind of response were you perhaps hoping for in that moment?
I was looking at the president because I was speaking directly to him. I was also, frankly, as you do in every sermon, speaking to everyone who was listening through that one-on-one conversation with the president, reminding us all that in the people that are frightened in our country, the two groups of people that I mentioned are our fellow human beings, and that they have been portrayed in all throughout the political campaign in the harshest of lights that I wanted to counter as gently as I could with a reminder of their humanity and their place in our wider community. And I was speaking to the president because I felt that he has this moment now where he feels charged and empowered to do what he feels called to do. And I wanted to say, there is room for mercy.
Yes, this is not good. When they take activists and put in charge, what do you expect? You should be saying things like this. This same lady donated to Obama informations we are saying everywhere on social media that clearly tells you who exactly she is. Within the space of 24 hours, I have seen her on CNN, The View, PBS. In fact, she's everywhere. It is like this is the opportunity. She has been waiting to grant interviews. It is crazy. If you want to preach, preach, avoid politics. Yes. If you have your different way to pass your message, don't use a service to play politics. Not addressing real issues that are happening, going straight into what can satisfy your ego. That is what she did exactly. It is crazy at a certain point. Some people are even questioning, like, why take activists and put in certain places?
And that you owe your church and the public an apology. Now, given your role, it doesn't seem surprising that you would speak out for the marginalized, as anyone who's read the Bible and knows the path of Jesus. But do you think your message is being misconstrued and politicized?
Well, sure. Yeah. But I think if you read what I said, and how could it not be politicized, right? We're in a hyper political climate. One of the things I caution about is the culture of contempt in which we live that immediately rushes to the worst possible interpretations of what people are saying and to put them in categories such as the ones you've just described. That's part of the air we breathe now. And I was trying to speak a truth that I felt needed to be said, but to do it in as respectful and kind a way as I could. And also to bring other voices into the conversation, which voices that had not been heard in the public space.
Honestly speaking, if I was this woke bishop, I would not go around to the media to defend the indefensible. Yeah, because there is nothing here to say. Okay, she implied she started a conversation. She want to stir up people to react to what she just started, right? I've not seen the same bishop talking against what some of these migrants are doing. If her speech was in such a way that she was talking on both sides, it is understandable, but she was lecturing the president of the United States just a day after the inauguration. That was insane. She actually owe an apology, though she's smiling here. When you take a look at this article, that clearly tells you majority of the people this country oppose this. Is she even reading articles to understand what majority of the people thinks? Because if they do, they will not do this every time.
different questions, but these were all taken within the last month. And there's real uniformity here. That's what I really think you see. You see real uniformity. Deporting all immigrants who are here illegally, 55% of the New York Times. Marquette, 64%. CBS News, 57%. ABC News with a slightly different question, 56%. So what you're seeing essentially here is a very clear indication that a majority of Americans, in fact, when they're asked this blunt question, which I believe gets at the underlying feelings, do in fact want to deport all immigrants who are here illegally. There's no arguing with these different numbers because they're all essentially the same across 4 different pollsters.
So if they say, yeah.
You can see that clearly. This is CNN. Thank you guys for always being there sharing out my videos. For people who complain that I put videos after the end of the clip, please, you can stop here. Oh, you're doing this, this is just for the algorithm. When you watch my videos, I always make sure to inform you where to end. If you want to continue, you can do, but please end here. God bless you and see you on my next clip.
The Washington Post owns it.
What? Okay. JFK, do not look down at those.
Tried to steal it from. A short time ago, President Joe Biden greeted Mr. and Mrs. Trump.
Don't worry. Also attending were all those people who warned Americans to shun this wannabe fascist dictator called Trump. Look at me, Ma. Oh, let's go see Hitler and get a quick selfie first. Hello, look at us.
His own bootstraps.
Yeah.
And so in thinking about that, and Donald Trump saying things that this country would be a meritocracy, you're talking about a man who didn't become the president of the United States because of merit.
And sparks move things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have.
Future president and his gag
are a funky in policy.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning. And, you know, I flew here last night. I was on a plane, started getting texts.
So I am evacuating my home.
What we need to do against what we know is right. And these are the results.
Trump is now calling that Gavin Newsom should step down.
This is you getting water to areas that need water because there are fires in 100-mile-an-hour winds.
The situation is beyond control.
For the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
What do we do?
Right now you're looking history, remember it.
As a country about January.
Yeah, and then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, you know, it's sad.
I want to be,
Jim Jordan.
in the 5 tenants of
Palisades Village right here. This is the town center of sorts.
And he did this little dance.
Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, who had some.
And then we watch the news or talk to my friends.
Buying up properties and the likes.
These people lost their